Hey y'all, we are on live. I'm about to get on the chat. Okay, cool. As I wait for others to come in, just want to say if you're watching this on like a replay, this is gonna be a good chat. Let's angle that down some. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a good chat, a good conversation today. And I wanted to talk about this because it's something that I've shied away from talking about on the channel. But it's something that, like, probably almost every person with locks goes through if you've been on your lock journey and if you went through like stages. By the way, if you're coming in, give a hey, hello, hi, how you doing? Is it morning, evening, or afternoon for you? And I can see the chat and also reply on my laptop here. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. I have some notes here, and I'm also recovering from COVID. So that was crazy. I had COVID for like a couple of days, and my throat's still kind of like recovering from it. Hey Prom L, hey Kayla, cool. So yeah, today's live is called When They Ask When Will You Do Your Hair. So I intend for this to be a conversation about, we'll touch on a little bit about Afro-textured hair not being seen as like valuable. Mostly Afro-textured hair and the stigmas around being not taken care of well, unprofessional, lazy, and we can't really talk about locks without talking about Afro-textured hair, and then the the whole mindset behind starting your locks. And sometimes we have conversations with ourselves before trying a new hairstyle or starting something new because we know that we'll be perceived in a certain light, and sometimes it's not really about caring so much as like personally what other people think about you or how about you look, about how you look, but it's more so trying to survive in a world and navigate in a world where it doesn't see what you naturally have as acceptable, let alone presentable, you know? Hey, Farmerman, TT, the Steam Broccoli Network, what's good? So, yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the conversation. Feel free to at any time drop questions in the chat, comments in the chat, because I'm constantly going back, looking at it. Appreciate the loves. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. I I have strayed away from talking about sort of these topics because it's kind of it I feel like it felt risky. But lately I've been getting signs from conversations that I've had with other people. You know how like you have a conversation with somebody and then it sounds like a conversation that you had with another person who told you something similar about yourself that you didn't know you needed to hear. So those responses have been like for me have been to talk about things that are considered that are bringing out the subconscious that you've kind of suppressed. But sometimes you don't know that you suppress things. By the way, who has one side of their hair longer than the other, and it's like literally visually noticeable, visibly. This side for me is longer visually than that side. Ricky Ricardo, what's up? Farmerman TT says, I never realized how much my mom hated dreadlocks until I started growing it. Wow, that's real. Prom L, what's good? I noticed a lot of you all's handles because usually you all who comment like comment regularly, which I appreciate too. So appreciate you all who comment, and then those of y'all who are lurking, you know, why don't you comment a little bit more? I can't blame you though, because I'm not an avid YouTube watcher, but when I do watch YouTube, I'm just there to watch the videos and not really comment or interact or anything like that. I'm just there to get the information and then leave. So it's crazy that you said that, Farmerman TT, because let's start there. Why don't we start there actually? On the topic of it be your own people. It's something ingrained within the community that we want to we okay, so how should I even start this? I don't know. Like, I experience it different than a lot of people, and I don't know if it's because I also benefit from pretty privilege. No, that's not a secret, but it is something that I think impacts my journey a lot, because the way that people have commented on my hair and versus my brother, me and my brother look just alike, literally. And I remember my grandparents specifically, or my grandmothers specifically, commenting on his hair. And he has semi freeform locks, like his roots look like this, and it's just a little bit shorter. And he's had his locks a lot longer than what I have, because he had two sets of locks. And I just remember at Thanksgiving, my grandmother is commenting on his hair and saying, "You know, that doesn't look presentable, right? You're gonna have to shape it up or do something." And he also has received comments from other family members saying that he's not going to make it far in the workplace because people are not going to accept him with his hair like that. And that saddens me and also confuses me because, again, my brother and I look just alike in the face. However, and he's also 4.5 years older than me. And we have pretty much the same hairstyle. However, the comments that I get are not like that. They're always about how fast my hair grows, as if it's like how fast my hair grows is like a compliment. And it's just usually the comments from the same family members are like, "Whoa, your hair grows so fast." While mixed in with other comments like, "Okay, so now that it's growing long, what are you gonna do when it gets down to your butt?" And I'm like, probably the same thing I'm doing now. And that's pretty much the extent of it. However, from not friends, but maybe in the workplace or out in public, I get different comments, such as the one that this this video is titled, "So when you gonna retwist your hair?" That's probably the most common comment that I get. When are you gonna retwist your hair? When are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your hair? And it's always from other people who look like me. And I don't know, y'all. What's up with that? Like, first of all, put a one in the chat if you have an experience like that, but may not want to tell the full experience. Put a one in the chat, because I just want to see how many people can relate. Like, am I am I talking real stuff? Be real with me, or are you like, "Oh no, I can't really relate"? So put a one in the chat if you've ever had those type of comments. Ricky Ricardo says, "My hair got mad backlash. My mom just gave up." So you got mad backlash from, is it from other people, and that your mom heard the comments, and then, or is it from your mom? Right? Farmer Man TT says he's experienced it. Yeah, like how many others of you who have experienced that, either from like family members or friends, and want to share. So feel free to share too. I'm looking at my notes right now because I had some notes on what I was going to talk. But let's talk about where this comes from, though, because there's an intersection, I feel, with the concept of good hair or bad hair, because I still hear people say that, and I check them when they say that, like, okay, so what does that mean when you say good hair? And I love having these conversations with people, especially when we don't know each other that well, because they don't imagine that I will pop off that much about it. But this topic is something that I really know that other people don't mean, sometimes they don't mean to be malicious about it. However, it's something that's so deeply like ingrained within our minds that when you say it, you almost, well, when other people say it, they almost think that it's a compliment. Like if your mom, if your dad, usually it's an older family member too. Say one of your grandparents says like, you need to do something with your hair. You can't go out like that, or else I'm not gonna go out with you. That's really not a compliment. I should choose another one. Yeah, so I think you should slick your edges and it would look a little bit better, right? I've had those comments at me. More so like, are you planning on doing your edges? That's how it's always a question for me. And the person who's saying that usually means it as something that they think they're helping you with. But what they don't realize is that you probably intentionally wore your hair like that as either a way to define yourself outside of the box of confinement that the society wants to put Afro-textured hair in, as acceptable, as like neat and slicked back being the standard, and just setting a new standard, or just allowing ourselves to be okay with not fitting in the standard, which was my whole intention. Farmer Man TT says most black persons think that good hair oh most black persons think that good hair is either straight or wavy. Yeah, and let's get into that too, because I feel you can't talk about that without also talking about colorism, or it intersects with like, is there like a hairism for the black community or for the community of color? Because I feel like just as you may have a huge family of different siblings, I know firsthand within my grandparents' family, they have light skinned brothers and sisters, and then they have dark skinned brothers and sisters from a different dad, or the same dad had different wives and had two sets of children. Those two sets of children don't like each other. And it goes deeper than just, oh, you're from a different mom than I'm from. To this day, their cousins don't even know, or their children who are cousins, and their children and their children, goes two generations down, still don't really communicate with each other like that. And they got beef. And it's it's like the color of your skin and how you look differently than me creates this friction between us and this misunderstanding about who we are. Oh, the comments are coming in. I see. Let me read them from here because I got my laptop. My mom told me that if I wanted a man, I needed to show more skin because I dress modestly and cut my locks because it diminishes my beauty. Wow. Wow. Let's just take a moment for that, because that's real. Like, a lot of people have experienced that as well. I know someone personally who has experienced their mother telling them that, so they told their mom that they wanted to start their lock journey. And their mom said, think again on that, because you will get looked at and approached less by men. You won't be seen as beautiful by men because that is not an attractive hairstyle, basically. And I mean, can I just say that that's so wrong? Like, it's actually really, really wrong. um, I actually think it's quite the opposite now that I've been in that position, because my face has always looked like my face. I my face has always looked like it has. I look the same as when I was literally 14, 15, 16 years old. However, the way that your you something about it really is like your vibration. I feel like your aura, it changes a little bit by the ways and the people and things that you attract when you start your lock journey, because locks is like a magnet, we all know that, and it attracts a different group of people than other hairstyles, so we all know that. But I think that the right people will be attracted to you in your most natural state, and locks is just like one of your most natural states. The right people will be attracted to it, period. Period, poo. Period, Tigger. Anyways, Twink says, haven't had a retwist since August. I see nothing wrong with that. I love my natural thick hair. I don't feel the need to tame my natural hair. Amen to that. Can we just give it up? Give it up for Twink. Come on. Get up for all of y'all. Because let me say, the reason why I shied away from talking specifically about this is because it is kind of sort of more taboo to me. It was a little bit more taboo to talk about it, but it's taboo not to talk about it. I mean, we all have experiences. This is a very common experience that we all experience on some level, especially if you're a person of color, which I'm going to assume everybody here is. And and ooh, we going to get into this later. I'm going to put a pin in this. Y'all want to talk about this now or later? The word dread or dreadlocks, because I don't got a problem with calling them dreadlocks. You know what I'm saying? My partner, he's from the Bahamas. He's Bahamian, and he's Jamaican and Cuban. And his cousins are from Jamaica. They wear dreadlocks. That's just what they wear. And I don't think that there's a problem with calling it dreadlocks just because of the history, but I honestly think that for black people in America and black people who were born in America and raised in America, yes, it can take a different connotation, just because to be black in America is to be have African roots, but not even really knowing what that means for you, because you've been whitewashed. Your brain has been whitewashed into this culture and society that is totally foreign to your roots. So I think that, black people in America have kind of taken something that was a a meant to have a really huge significance of like triumph from those roots, and kind of turned it into something that, because of our trauma, we don't want to use for that. But we can come back to that. We can definitely come back to that. Okay. Um Kayla also says, and that I would never get anywhere with locks. Yet I became her supervisor. Oh, come on. I became a supervisor. And that my hair will decrease my choices in men. Yeah, that's I mean, I feel like that's really real. That's a real thing that people go through too. Um, that's real. And this is honestly, like, I think the most important reason to have this conversation too is because a lot of people are out there like, okay, should I get dreadlocks because of this or locks? Should I get locks because of this reason, because of that reason? Because I feel like I already don't really know much about my hair, and we'll get into that later on. Because I feel like we just don't know so much about our hair that we have people of other ethnicities, other ethnic groups, I try to check myself on prejudice as well, you know what I'm saying? Because who are we to ask people to stop killing us, but don't really like follow the mold and set the standards. So I try to check my prejudice as much as possible, but you know, other other ethnic groups come into our communities and sell products to us about how to do our hair, and we listen to it because that's like all we know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all we know from our history, and our history has been wiped out from under, if you're black in America, which I am. And that's kind of like all we know. It's like Asians owning beauty salons in our community and selling us products, but we don't even know like the products, which products are best, or which, so we like, I don't know, that whole system for me is just messed up. And like Caucasians make they make commercials with people who look like us on it using the products, but they're not even, they're literally to keep white people rich and black people suppressed. Y'all ready for that conversation? I don't know. Y'all ready for that conversation? Cause that conversation gets real deep. That one there, it gets real deep. Okay, I'm going to name the best that I can. I'm try not to let the comments pile up, y'all, cause y'all come up with the comments. Okay, Amalachu. Sorry, Amalachuku. Did I say it? Okay, cool. And said that honestly, I have let go of, if the people who have a problem with my hair, if you cannot be comfortable with me regardless of what my hair looks like, that is a cue for me to distance myself from you. That's facts. I actually just talked about this in a video that is coming up for y'all on Monday. And Tuesday is actually my 3-year lock anniversary, which is why I was making the video about this. That once you start your journey and once you really become comfortable with this, because this is like the most natural that hair can get. If you just leave hair alone, Afro-textured hair, if you just leave our hair alone, well, honestly, any texture of hair, honestly, if you just leave the hair alone, this is what the hair wants to do. It just wants to form how it naturally is. And this is like your inner lived experience is expressing them outwardly. This can scare off the wrong people. It will scare off the wrong people. And if it allows other people who were once in your life to perceive you differently, or to scare them off, or if it does scare off the men, if you're a woman and you're like, and you're hearing like that, your locks are going to be unattractive to men, and them the wrong men anyways. And yeah, I feel that that is a cue for distance, and then it'll happen regardless of whether you see it or not, because locks are a magnet. That's just my what's that called, experience with it. The more you're on your lock journey, you'll see that it's sort of like a protective mechanism against the negativity. It'll just like leave you. My hair, and yet my hair is way longer than hers, and hers is still the same length and break-in as it is perm. Yeah, I mean, I'm just praying for all of my brothers and sisters that are just like still sleep on this whole relaxer thing. I mean, there have been documentaries coming out about it, y'all ever seen the documentary Good Hair? That's where it started. Chris Rock's documentary Good Hair, and that was like in the early 2000s. I haven't been retwisting my hair and don't plan on doing so. I saw my mom get so worried when I told her my dad has been against me having locks since the beginning. And it's interesting. If y'all want to get into this too, we can get into it, about the differences between how different genders experience this whole phenomenon. What is this called? I feel like this should be called something like, there's a racism, there's a colorism, there's sexism, and I feel like there's like a hairism, like especially within the black community. That's real. Kayla Ali says she hurt my self-esteem for real. And I feel for you as well. She says I'm Canadian but Jamaican descent, but We're pretty much the same as American, by the way. Um, yes, and I am also aware that Jamaicans and I just know the most about Jamaican and also Bahamian descent. That it's the cultures there are pretty American adjacent as well, but that there is a heavy influence around your presentation as well, around hair, around that straighter is better. That the more Caucasian adjacent or the more white adjacent, the more European adjacent is Caucasian. Is that like a derogatory? I don't know why that would be derogatory. But anyways, um, the more European adjacent that you look, and I feel like it is older influence on younger because there are two within those cultures. I also know that there are different systems and belief systems as well, to say the least. Like it's locks or dreadlocks, really, it's called in Rastafarian culture, is rooted there, but also in parts of Egypt, and then there's the more westernized roots and Christian values and beliefs, which comes with a whole different other system because a lot of Christianity is carries that Eurocentric standard of upbringing too. So Ray says, "How are you? Beautiful. Thank you. Doing well. Doing well. How are you doing?" Yeah, that's what I felt like in the beginning. Like, who is going to approach me now? No guy is going to be interested in me. But honestly, I think that I only want to attract men like that for me. Listen, listen, listen. Before locks, if you're a woman, if you're a woman, before having locks, this is what you get. Hey, yo, what's up, ma? After locks, you get the Grand Rising Queen. I'm so serious. I'm so dead ass. That's literally what you get. It's not what people think that it is, and if it is it if it is what people are telling you that it is, then they're insecure about their their own truth. Like they don't even know themselves more enough, and it's so like that's why I'm kind of like praying for the people who say these type of things because they're not in touch with themselves at all, and for them to say that and kind of sometimes they don't have malicious intent. They just think that they're so afraid of what would happen to them if they were in that position that they don't want you to be in that position either, and they don't want their perception or other people's perception of them to be skewed just because people's perception of you is also skewed. I think dreadlocks have forced to become more confident in myself. That's awesome and amazing. And I feel the same thing too, because this whole journey is about getting rid of the box that we feel like we have to fit in. Like when you have to question every move that you make, like every hair decision that you make. I really want to show you all some photos that I took of like before I had locks and all the different hairstyles that I wore, and that my hair was an expression. Like I dyed it purple, I dyed it back black, I dyed it like a ginger brown, and I had curls. I cut it off. I cut it off real short. I grew it back. I got Marley twists. I got faux locks, and all that's cool. But there was a lot of insecurity within all of those styles that I felt like I had to mask the insecurity by doing something wild with my hair so that my hair would be the center of attention and not anything else that I had going on. And so it was a way to express myself, but at one point I had dyed my hair so much that I had just like fried it. And I feel that once you get locks, you kind of have to start anew, and you have to leave all of that behind because again, like this is an extension of your thoughts. So for me, so like it's basically a inward expression coming outward outside of your body, and that's also why you have to protect it. But it's really transforming away from that standard of releasing European or Eurocentric or European standards of beauty that make us feel less than, and realizing that the standards are set there because they don't want us to really know the power that our hair holds. Like this is really an antenna. Think of anything that has movement. And I'm about to get back to the comments in a minute because I see them coming. But think of anything that conducts energy. You know, think of a microwave, or a little, when you take out a pin and you take that little coil out of it and it goes boing, it's like a spring. You take that spring out of it and it bounces back. That conducts energy that makes the pin move. Our coils and kinks are the way that creation expresses itself. If you look up in the Milky Way, you'll see all these little swirls and and circles and coils. That's our hair. It's etched in creation. It's naturally occurring. So that's why our hair is an antenna. It literally conducts energy. And protecting your energy also means knowing yourself. Being able to kind of sense when people just don't really get it. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to just fall back. Soulless says, I feel like not retwisting my hair and letting it grow thin from the roots just gives me a natural look different from any person who also have locks. I've normalized being different from them. Yeah, and that's what gives it more individuality and more personality. When I stopped retwisting, I noticed that also. It gives it a lot more individuality. Freeform locks is really beautiful. Freeform locks, semi-freeform locks, traditional locks. You have to use your confidence as a shield against the negativity. Yep, exactly. Dreadism, lockism. I like that. I like that. Dreadism or lockism. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we really can't talk about it though without talking about the discrimination against Afro-textured hair, and like school teachers making kids cut their locks off. I will never forget. There was one article I read years and years ago about this little girl who went to Catholic school and she had beads in her hair. And she didn't have locks or anything. She just had little ponytails and she had beads in her hair. And the teacher said that your beads make too much noise. Your beads are making too much noise. So the teacher took it upon herself to cut her hair. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine if I was that little girl, my mom, she would have cut somebody out. She would have not had that. I'd have been so devastated if that was my child. Like, you gonna tell my child that the beads are too loud, so you gonna cut the hair? Like, that's just, yeah, yeah. Yeah, intersection. It is intersectionality. It intersects all of it: racism, colorism, sexism. Yeah, so we can talk about those double standards in between men with locks and women locks. I feel that with men with locks, the comments are more directed towards the male in like a ways that they won't get very far in the workplace if they wear their hair like it is. They won't be respected as much by people And by people, I think we all mean white people. I think we all know that they mean white people because let's be honest, like these comments are always from other black people. They're never from other races. I've never had any of those comments myself from other white people. I've actually had more positive comments from white people about my hair than from black people. Um, And you know what? When I get positive comment, when white people say, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair," I'll be like, "Yeah, right. You playing." But I feel like that is my it's something in my brain that's wired in me to be on the defense because I actually saying this now, they really say it because they really do like my hair. However, it I want to reject the compliment because I feel like it's so prevalent to be rejected because of that European standard. It is perpetuated more by black people than white people. Hmm. Is that true? Let me check myself on that. It is facilitated by black people more than white people. And I say that because your family members, your friends, like we all know our family members and our friends say these things to us because we think this is what white people think about our hair. But in reality, what white people really think about our hair is that it is dope, it is beautiful. Now, their ancestors may have ingrained in us something different, but we still perpetuate that, and it's kind of like our job to still call it out. And it's also all of our generation's job to still be on it about like demolishing those confines because we are still playing a huge role in perpetuating what was established. But I think that the it's more facilitated by people who look like us than not, you know? So that's why it intersects with colorism because colorism happens within the black community. It happens within communities of all ethnic groups except for white people because white people are just, white. But it happens among all people, all ethnic groups, all black and brown people. And it intersects most definitely. There's texturism in the hair community. Yes, in the black hair community. Yeah. There's texturism. There's like, the whole good hair thing. I still hear people say it, and I call people out. I literally, I had this conversation, and I tried to have a meaningful conversation with one of my sisters, and I see her a couple times a week, and she does not understand evidently why I do not retwist my locks, and I tried to tell her that it's it's a self-love thing for me because I feel we have been pressured a lot to wear our hair in a certain way, so I'm not retwisting my hair. I don't do that. And she says, okay, well, I don't think there's any pressure for me to wear my hair a certain way. I just wear it and I go get a wig. You like my wig? And I'm like, yeah, I like it. That's cool. Like, rock it. But I feel like the conversation never gets through because she may say things such as like, yeah, I'm okay with my hair. I'm okay with even wearing my hair out because I'm just so fortunate that my family has good hair. I'm like, well, it's difficult to have these conversations with people who do not with people who are not understanding why the term good hair is a problem in the first place and think that it's more of a compliment because they benefit from the whole good hair stigma than not. And at some point, sometimes you may have to just like, give it up and try again later. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try again another day. I'm gonna try this conversation again another day. Um, but I think, yes, I think in the Black community it is a huge thing. Okay, let's see. Yes, peace. Okay, YT4ME57 says, I'm African American and will soon be 69. Please extend grace to the elders because there was a time in this community when you would never be able to get a decent job with locks. The pushback is fear. Yes, I agree. And thank you for that comment. Because I try to have these conversations without the I don't know if it's rage or the want to be heard all the time. But Black people for years, that's all we've been trying to do, just be heard. So it's difficult to have a conversation, I feel, with other Black people about these topics and not want to just feel heard, because it's like, man, you should understand how how heavy this topic is, because you went through it too. You're going through it all throughout your life. But I do feel like we do have to extend that grace. At the same time, we there's a part that we all play, and the responsibility to not taking the responsibility in the part that you play in perpetuating these same systems is one of the root reasons why we're still here. And if for me personally, if I am able to get that across to my elders, that you still play a responsibility in perpetuating this, though, by making those comments to your grandchildren, to your children, and sitting down and having these conversations, I feel is really important, because I do have these conversations in my household with my parents, grandparents, and like I said, sometimes it just does not get through. Sometimes you just have to say, okay, I'm gonna leave it here, and then maybe we'll come back to this conversation in a little bit. How many of y'all agree? Let me get to the rest of these comments. I prefer I prefer the grand rising queen or sister that's actually respectful. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely respectful. I think that also it's a more conscious effort to connect, rather than like, hey yo ma, what's good with you? The grand rising queen definitely is like definitely is like, okay, I see you, sis. That's something that like that's something that like Dr. Umar would talk about. Y'all know Dr. Umar? If not, look at his videos. He is so funny. But he be saying some real stuff though. Although the natural hair movement began in the 1960s in the USA, it was a tremendous struggle. This generation has options that their grandparents and that parents and grandparents fought for but didn't have. That's real. Yeah, let's just acknowledge that our baby boomers, like our baby boomers, and what was the generation before? I don't know, but our baby boomers paved the way for our millennials to be able to kind of like slide us into the natural hair movement. And I feel that exposure on platforms like YouTube, and YouTube is where it started for me, honestly, but exposure on these platforms like YouTube and seeing black women on TV, black women on TV wearing their natural hair, and starting to see commercials with women with afros, it really paved the way for us. So thank you, baby boomers. I thank you, baby boomers, because y'all played a huge pivotal role in fighting for what the options that we have today. So that's so true. That's so true. Yeah, let's continue to have these conversations as well with our family members. Also, if you're just coming in as well, we're still talking about a couple of things. We talked about we gonna circle back to the dreadlocks conversation about the word dreadlocks and how we how we may feel or not feel about that. But mostly we're talking about letting go of self-hatred from Eurocentric standards, not knowing how to do our hair, not being in, at peace with having locks because of our family members' comments or friends' comments, or just totally ignoring those comments and just going with it, but also just acknowledging that they're still here and they're still perpetuating a cycle of thought, of apprehension about getting to know ourselves more. So if you have an experience like that, drop it in the chat. We're gonna keep this conversation rolling. Hopefully I'm gonna be on here for about like at least 30 more minutes because this is a good conversation and a long overdue one. I am disappointed with the trend in wearing long straight wigs or weaves. I don't have locks because I love my natural hair. I've never had a perm. Oh, I was fortunate my parents rejected that notion. Oh yeah, so I that I mean that's valid as well. Yeah, I mean I would never say that I would never say that I'm kind of not looking forward to the trend in wearing long hair or weaves because I used to wear it too. Like I've worn plenty of wigs in my days, and just in the position that I am now looking back, I knew personally within myself that I was insecure about the way that men viewed me as well, with long hair or without long hair, or like I said, I've worn my hair in almost every single style that you can imagine. Um, and like looking back, I can see how just hair is such a huge expression of who we are. And a lot of the styles that we choose are to protect our crown, not unknowingly. So I saw a video, y'all know y'all know the digital loctician, right? She did a video about another YouTuber talking about how wigs and weaves are a subconscious like head covering, but just they take a different form. But any protective style is going to protect your crown, and I feel locks are probably the the most protective style. But if you have like faux locks, or if you have Marley twists, or if you have a weave, a wig, it's protecting your crown from energy, because we all know that hair carries energy. And so subconsciously, if you keep gravitating toward wearing wigs or wearing protective styles, rather than wearing your own natural hair, then there might be some unpacking, some unpacking of how you're feeling right now. Like, are you feeling vulnerable? Do you feel like you're being attacked? These are valid questions too. And subconsciously, there might be something there to kind of observe about wearing those hairstyles, because I just know this is protection. But there's also a lot of other hairstyles that are protective of the crown as well. And we do them without really knowing what we're doing. My biggest insecurity was being stereotyped. Stereotyped as a Rastafarian. Wow. If you want to unpack that, we can too, as well. Because I would ask why was that one of your biggest insecurities? Was it because of the views of Rastafarian culture, or is it, and I'm just laughing because I remember somebody asking me way back when, was I Rastafarian? And I wanted to say yes. I actually wanted to say yes just to see. This was years ago, actually. When I actually had faux locks, and someone thought it was my real hair, but I wasn't gonna let them believe for 1 second it was not real. And I also had I still have this necklace. I had a Bob Marley necklace on, and they asked me, and I was like, I just didn't answer. I didn't say yes or no. And then by the look on their face, they were like, no, you're not. And then just kept walking. But I always thought that the views, well, not always thought, but now I can see that there's something super peaceful about, I will say, the oneness that comes with that culture. And by no means is this me identifying as Rastafarian, but I do believe that just naturally, as I've been on this journey, some of my views have correlated with their views and beliefs, and there's something really wholesome about the oneness and the that they represent as well. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Jamie. Happy birthday. Cool. Okay, and we're all cut up. Cool. Yeah, what do y'all think about this topic? Do y'all want to see other live streams about this too? Because I plan on being on live for like at least another 20 minutes. Because I got some other things to talk about too. Joseph, Kayla Ali says, I had a weave once and I hated it. I felt like I felt it took away from my blackness, and I didn't like the attention I got. It was fake attention. I felt like if my hair was natural, they wouldn't do that. Mm. This reminds me of that movie Bad Hair. Y'all seen that movie? In the movie Bad Hair, the main character, she was working for this company that she felt like, oh, she was working for like a radio company, and she wanted to get up in the company, but like she first of all, she had a sister who always did her hair, and her sister had softer texture hair, looser texture hair, and also her sister was a little bit lighter than her. Her sister messed her hair up when she was young, so the main character, she had a resistant, like she had some type of trauma about getting relaxers or getting her hair done. So she always wore her hair like she had, 4C hair. And she always wore her hair in like a natural style that showed her natural texture. But one day she decided to get a weave. And the premise of the movie was around like the tale of the moss haired girl. Um, Yeah, it was around the moss haired girl. Oh, are my captions on? How do I turn captions on? I'm so sorry. I I need to stop forgetting about captions because is it here? Maybe I have to do that before I start the live stream. I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn that on. But the movie honestly felt like kind of excuse me. The something in my throat. The movie honestly to me felt really like out there because eventually her weave, the story of the moss hair girl was that the uh the slave the slave girl got moss off of a tree, and that was her hair, and she wanted to look like Master's hair, so she got moss out of a tree off of a tree and then wore it as her hair. But she realized that the moss wanted its own, like was controlled by like witches or something like that. So the moss needed people's blood to survive. So that correlated to the actual movie where the girl, she the hair made her do different things, like she was killing people, and then the hair would drink the blood, and then every time the hair would get longer, like the weave was started here, but by the end of the movie the weave was like down here. um it was a funny movie to me, but I think it did have a lot of symbolism in the ways in which First of all, that Indian Remy or whatever yaki hair people be getting. First of all, that hair be sacrificed. They be sacrificing their hair. They do. I saw a documentary on it. They be sacrificing their hair when they give their hair up. They do it like a religious ceremony to do that. So I just think that whole witchy thing got some trueness to it. Cause that hair got energy too. I feel like that hair got energy. Um, yeah, that movie put me off weaves for life. Yeah. Yes, I think I also had some negative views on Rastafarianism. I assumed that all persons with dreads smoked weed, so I didn't want to be associated with someone that did. Okay, got it. Um, I mean, I've seen a couple of Bob Marley interviews. Have you seen Bob Marley interviews on why Rastafarians smoke weed? And uh, w- whether I guess you agree with the smoking weed or not, I think there's something to look into when there is any type of like religious background or um, I really think it's like a belief or culture that does something to kind of like understand the background behind it because it might not be what you think it is once you read about the beliefs. Um, yeah. So yeah. What else is in my notes? What else is in my notes? Oh, this is just a personal thing that I know that I went through when I was younger. I used to be obsessed with slicking my edges down on every hairstyle, whether it was braids or twists that I was wearing, or I did used to wear wigs as well. I used to wear wigs and weaves, and I was obsessed with slicking my hair down. So I've tried every edge control on the market and would go to every length to keep my edges slick. I brought to high school. I remember bringing like a satin scarf to tie down my edges on the school bus so that my edges would be slick. And I think that there's something to be unpacked with this whole edges thing because you can have locks, you can have like a style that looks like you're showing, your naturalness. But the edges thing is something that's like if you don't have that, then it's not complete. And I feel that is also a European standard of beauty that makes us think that our hairstyle is not complete unless we have that design in our edges. I know a lot of our moms used to do those designs in our edges, and that's why we do it. Um, but I think there's something like a little bit deeper rooted in the whole edges thing, which is why I stopped doing my edges, and I chose not to do my edges when I got locks as well because I just did. And I thought that that whole like chasing slick edges thing for me was starting to get a little bit toxic. The funny thing is, having dreadlocks was never the goal when I started growing my hair. I hated getting retwists, so I found this style easier to manage. What I like about having dreadlocks is how the community embraces you. Yes, for sure. I enjoy that as well. Um, Before I started my locks, was in, I think one person who really inspired me was West Indie Ray here on YouTube. My lock journey ended up looking a lot different than hers. Another person was Kiki J on YouTube. She has micro locks. My locks ended up looking a lot different than hers, but being in community is so important, and also having people who look like you to inspire you. And then once you see that inspiration, go off and do your own thing anyways. It's a great way to start your journey because it never ends up being what you plan on it being. It always evolves, and I feel like those are the best ones. I think that's pretty much all that I had in my notes. I don't have a problem with the word dreadlocks or even dreads. I don't. Well, I'd rather say dreadlocks than dreads. But I don't say either of those because I want to be respectful to everybody. So I just say locks. But FYI, I have no problem with the saying calling my hair dreadlocks because that's what they always were. Originally, they were dreadlocks, and so before they came to America, they were dreadlocks, and they're dreadlocks now. They were dreadlocks then. So, um, the thing that we need to change in our mind is coming from dreadful to joyful because I feel calling them dreadlocks is not saying that they're dreadful to me. When you know the history behind why they're even called dreadlocks in the first place. Uh, so I don't honestly don't know where that whole thing came from. Sometimes I feel I feel that sometimes black people in America, we can kind of miss the history behind some of the things that make the things in our culture what it is, and we take it and turn it into something else that it doesn't need to be. Am I the only one that thinks that? But I understand why we do that because sometimes it feels like we can't have anything, so we try to keep it, try to keep it for ourselves. The uniqueness of everyone's locks is what I love about the lock community, and no one's locks look the same in every person or in one person's head. That is so true. And that's also one of the reasons why I think semi freeform or freeform locks are beautiful because they're the best representation of what your hair naturally wants to do, of your own individuality with your locks, too. I think it's beautiful. Well, all right, y'all. I am out of notes. And my knees are hurting a little bit because of the way I've been sitting. I'm sitting on these two yoga blocks. But yeah, this was a nice conversation. And I will be having more conversations like these. Also, if you haven't already, give this live stream a like. Excuse me, give this live stream a like so that I will know that you all are rocking with it for real. All right, so a couple announcements. I do have my retreat open. I'll now take any questions for the retreat. The retreat is called Crown Connection Retreat. So you can register for my retreat by going to my website. I'm going to drop the link as well. All right, so I made this retreat for everybody who's on their lock journey, whether you're in month 3 or year 3 for your lock journey, to decompress, escape the matrix for a little while, and nourish your locks. At the retreat, it's a 5-day retreat. It's gonna be from sorry, I just cracked my hip. It's gonna be from May 23rd through the 27th, 2024. And yes, that is 5 days and 4 nights weekend from a Thursday to a Monday. And it's a 5-day immersion for nature and also just connecting with community. This is the first event that I'm having in person I've ever had in person. And having limited spaces, about 16 spaces left for the retreat. And it's a co-ed retreat. So first of all, we have a separate I was going to say dorms, cabins for the men and women. For both cabins, we have 2 bathrooms if that's something that you want to know. There will be food provided. There will be pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, any dietary restriction. The food will be included, and it's going to be at River Mountain Resort in Pennsylvania. That's in the U.S. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from DC. I live in the DC area, so it's about 2.5 drive from there. There will be shuttle service provided, included, just in case you need to fly in from somewhere. You can fly into BWI, which is the largest airport in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and a shuttle service from there, or Ronald Reagan Reagan National Airport. As far as the activities, we'll have plenty of workshops, yoga and meditation sessions every day. We will have male and female facilitators for the retreat. We'll have one of the facilitators, his name is Mars. He'll do a chakra meditation, and he'll also talk with the men, with all y'all lock kings out there who are struggling with, or not struggling, but you might be struggling, I don't know, with healing and opening up as a man in this world is crazy, especially as a black man as well. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough out here. And so we're gonna have open healing conversations. We're also gonna make tinctures for our locks. We can have healthy locks. We're also gonna have a special guest. I'm gonna just reveal to y'all who the special guest is, because we gonna go live. I'm gonna go live with her in about 2 weeks as well on my channel. And I'm going to have the digital loctician at the retreat. So the digital loctician, she's here on YouTube too, and she is really great at giving holistic lock care maintenance advice. So if you don't know who she is, she'll be there. She's a loctician, a hairstylist, and she also has her own product line. So yeah, you can go check that out. She'll be there to help you all develop a lock care regimen, so we can learn a little bit more about our hair, what brought us to the journey, and we'll have journaling sessions throughout. We have another herbalist coming, an herbalist coming, who's a personal friend of mine, and she's going to do a herbalism workshop for us about the chakras and different herbs to take for I just lost my train of thought, for holistic healing. And also the cabins that we'll be sleeping in, they'll be a circadian rhythm cabins. So if you look at the retreat page, again, the link is there. I just dropped it. If you look at the retreat page, you'll see the pods, which are the cabins, and you'll have your own private pod. You can go in your pod, close the curtain, get some privacy. You'll have a skylight window that allows you to wake up with the sun and go to sleep with the stars, and also do some stargazing from your pod. So the trees are on the right, and then the water is on the left. So it's literally resyncs your body up, your body's circadian rhythm up for natural healing. So that whole weekend is just going to be about resetting your nervous system, calming and balancing the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, so that you can be your best and thrive and grow and be happy, healthy. So I'm having a $300 off sale for the retreat until the end of the month, and you'll get some bonus goodies because it's an early bird sale. So for the early bird sale, it's going to be $300 off until the end of this month, and the price will go up. I'm sorry, $400 off. I keep on saying $300. Go check it out. And also, if what other questions do you all have? Thank you so much. Yes, if you haven't liked this live, give it a thumbs up. Also, I wanted to announce I've relaunched my Patreon, or reopened my Patreon community. So I've geared it more towards people on their lock journey as well, and around having conversations such as these as well. There will be an ad-free experience. Excuse me. There will be an ad-free experience, unlike here on YouTube, where we'll have conversations. I'll post regularly in there every single week about topics such as what is happening in pop culture around locks, and how we can build the relationship between hair and it still being beautiful. uh, speak out against naysayers, family members, friends who say that neat, slick, and all that is the only beautiful way to go. And we'll also have expert hours where I'll bring an expert in the field in once a month to answer all of you all's questions, because y'all be asking me a lot of questions, and sometimes I don't feel qualified to answer those questions because I ain't a loctician, but I have had locks for like 3 years now. And in addition, we'll meditate together every single week. So I'll be on live doing a guided meditation, and we'll have some conversations. There are already videos in there, and some videos that are more personalized towards my personal life. So if you want to be a little bit more nosy, you can go ahead and see those videos. I've already started posting there. So yeah, go ahead and I'll go ahead and drop the link if you want to learn more about the Patreon. You can do that here. Boom. So yeah, please give this live stream a like if you're still here. Thank you all so much. I'm just gonna stay on for like 5 more minutes. What questions do you all have for me? What questions or comments? Also, if you haven't drank any water since you've been here, drink your water. Strong Eagle says, "What city are you from?" I'm from DC. I'm from DC, the DC area. That's DMV lingo. But I'm from Maryland. I'm from the DC area. I was born in DC, but I'm from Maryland. So yeah, y'all stay tuned for next week when I'll be going live with the digital loctician. I'm so super excited for the retreat, y'all. So super excited. I hope to see you a lot of you all there. And again, if you have any questions at all, my email is always in my bio. So you said everybody from DC, nobody from PG. I know a lot of people from PG County, Maryland. Well, that's personally because I live around that area, but Annapolis. Oh, somebody in Annapolis. Oh, you in Annapolis? Okay, yeah, you in Annapolis. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm from Trinidad. Okay, come on, TNT. Hey, Linda, what's good? So I did my 23andMe ancestry, but I found out from one of my indigenous friends that 23andMe might not be the most accurate as it pertains to your ethnic makeup of your African descent, but it told me that I'm like mostly Nigerian, Congolese, right? However, she actually said to go on, africanancestry.com, and you can find out. I'm not sure why I'm saying this. Maybe it's because, Farmer Man TT says I'm from Trinidad, and I like to see where I'm from, or where my roots are, because honestly, just being here in America, you don't really get to. I don't really get to connect with that as much. And a lot of black people in America probably know that, like, you gonna have some Native American in you somewhere. Like, everybody claims that they're Native American, but it's just a whole melting pot of different things for most people. I feel that you probably don't even know what you are if you black in America. You probably don't even know like half the things that is in you. I didn't know that it's like 5% white in me. Only 5%. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I didn't know that. How would I know that? But anyways, y'all, I appreciate you all for being here with me on the live stream, having this conversation. This was a great conversation, and hope to see y'all next week. I'll be going live as well. Same day, same time. Not the same day, but like same day, Thursday, same time. Okay, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your evening. Be safe out here in these streets, and also, don't be afraid to have conversations like these. We need more conversations like these, but also try to approach it with grace, with even empathy. Try to put yourself in other people's shoes too, because you don't know what people are dealing with really in their mind as well. And so that's how we're all gonna contribute to just a better well-being for all people everywhere. And and not just like people of color, not just black people, all people everywhere. Because you know what I'm saying? They try to lie to us and say that because you look like this, that because you different, you different. No, we all from Africa. We all from Africa. Anyways, all of us. We all from Africa. We all cousins, eighth, ninth, 10th cousins. I don't know if it goes back that much, but like we all from Africa, y'all. Like division. Whenever somebody says, "Oh, we need to get together. We need to come together," they be like, "Oh no, we gotta stop that. We need to stop them from coming together because they don't want us to come together. They don't want us to do that." Enjoy the live. Thank you. I enjoyed the live too. Thank you all for coming on. Hi, you're so pretty. I thank you. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.